I rank 20 business credit cards with 0% interest periods, and I'm gonna show you how to stack them with a brand new business. If you're trying to hire a team, launch a product, buy inventory, or run ads, imagine doing all of that without interest eating away at your profits. So you're gonna see which banks make you wait months and hand over tax returns, and which ones are soft pull friendly and let you apply online and don't ask millions of questions. And yes, I'll walk you through a 9-card stack strategy that can unlock $100,000+ in 0% APR business funding, even if you're just getting started. But I need to let you know, I launched my 0% APR business card database. It comes with 700+ banks that offer no interest for up to 18 months. You'll know which credit bureau each bank pulls from, the top banks in your state offering 0% interest funding, and you'll see which banks let you open multiple credit products with just one hard pull. So just hit that link below to get instant access. And by the way, I'm pushing updates to this database constantly, so you'll definitely want to check it out. Now, first are the F tier cards. You'll want to avoid these completely. These are the cards that look like business cards on the outside, but come with deal-breaking flaws that can seriously hurt your personal credit and limit your funding potential or just waste valuable hard inquiries. They're in the F tier for a reason. The first one is Capital One, and they don't offer any 0% interest period. They report your business activity to the personal credit bureaus, which defeats the whole point of separating business from personal credit. Even worse, they pull from all 3 bureaus. That's Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. So you get a triple ding just for applying. Then there's Discover. And they have the same story. They report your business card to the personal credit bureaus, and they have no 0% APR intro offers with any of their cards. They do typically pull from Experian, so you're giving up a hard inquiry for very little in return. And then there's TD Bank. They offer a pretty weak 6-month 0% intro period. And they also report to your personal credit, which can hurt your utilization and score. They typically pull from Experian, especially in the Northeast, so you're using up a hard credit pull on a card that doesn't protect your personal profile. All right, let's get on to the D tier. These make you wait. And that's because these banks might offer 0% APR, but they bury you in red tape, whether it's long waiting periods, documentation overload, or outdated approval processes that slow you down when you're trying to move fast. If you're looking to fund your business quickly, these are the ones to really think twice about. The first one is Fifth Third Bank. You can't even apply until you open a business checking account, and then you have to wait 3 full months. On top of that, they often require you to deposit cash just to qualify. Yes, the cards do offer 0% for 12 months, but the hoops that they make you jump through make it hard to justify. And they pull Experian. Then there's M&T Bank. They ask for full tax returns just to get limits over $5,000. Approvals have gotten stingy and the process feels outdated and slow. Usually they pull from Experian, but occasionally from TransUnion. There's also Regions Bank. They have a short 6-month 0% offer, and it's not enough to offset their demands. You'll need a 6-month checking account relationship just to qualify, and they're known to request full financials like tax returns and statements. It's definitely not for fast movers, and they typically pull from TransUnion. There's also BMO Harris. They offer 0% for 12 months, but the process is clunky. They frequently ask for tax returns, and their approvals are all over the place. They're inconsistent and unpredictable, and it's hard to build a strategy around them. And they typically pull from TransUnion. All right, let's move on to the C tier. These are decent, but with limitations. These cards aren't terrible, but they come with some drawbacks that really hold them back from being top tier. You can think of them as okay in the right situation, but not where you want to start if you're stacking. First is Zion's Bank. They only have 0% for 6 months. And it's not enough runway for most business plays. You can get up to $50,000 and apply without opening a bank account, which helps. And they pull Experian. Then there's FNBO, or First National Bank of Omaha. FNBO does have 0% interest for 6 months, and they offer an online application. Limits are usually capped at around $12,000, so it's not super helpful for scaling. They do pull from Experian and occasionally Equifax. Then there's Flagstar Bank. There's 0% interest for 6 months, and they have online applications as well. Their offers are pretty basic, and there's nothing that really sets it apart. Next is KeyBank. They require a business checking account to apply, but I rarely see limits over $25,000, and they pull from Equifax. Next is Huntington Bank. Their 0% APR only applies to balance transfers and not purchases. Also, they require tax returns and bank statements, so it's not really ideal for fast-moving founders. They also pull from Experian. Next, let's move up to the B tier. These are decent picks, especially if you already have a relationship with them, but they usually come with some caveats like lower limits or short intro offers or a little extra paperwork. First, I got to talk about Elon Financial. They have over 1,300 partner banks. They offer up to 18 months of 0% interest, which is really good. And then they have online applications available across a wide network of those partner banks. And the limits are going to vary widely depending on the institution you're applying with. They usually pull from TransUnion and then sometimes from Experian. Next is Bank of America. They have 0% interest for 9 months, and you can combine limits, and with strong bank relationships, you can unlock up to $35K in limits. But most people I've seen get approved for $10,000 to $15,000 at first. They also pull from Experian or TransUnion. Next, PNC Bank. They have 0% interest for 13 months on balance transfers and then 9 months on purchases. They do push pretty hard for like their merchant processing and checking accounts. Their limits tend to land between $15,000 and $25,000, and they pull from Experian. Then Wells Fargo, they have 0% interest for 12 months. You have to season your bank account for about 60 days first before applying. And if you play it right, you can get up to $60,000 over time. They also pull from Experian. All right, it's time for the A-tier banks. First is Citizens Bank. They have a soft pull approval with no bank account required. The approvals go as high as $35,000 to $50,000. Historically, they soft pull from Equifax, but some recent reports here and there have shown that hard pulls are creeping in. Next is First Citizens Bank. They have 0% interest for 12 months, and they have approvals that go from $35K to $50K range if you open a checking account first, and they pull from Equifax. Then there's one of my favorites, Amex. They have 0% interest for 12 months, plus the ability to merge business and personal limits. You can go up to $50,000, but it helps to have an existing relationship. You also want to watch out for any financial reviews and shutdowns if you try to liquidate a card like this, a card with Amex, too early. They do pull from Experian, but if you're an existing customer, you'll likely get a soft pull. Next is US Bank. They have one of the longest 0% intro periods at 18 months, and they actually own Elon Financial, if you don't know. And they have starting limits that go from $25,000, and with strong statements, you can hit $50K with them. They're gonna pull from TransUnion, and then sometimes they pull from Experian, based on location. Now, next is Truist Bank. They have high approval rates even for newer businesses. If you get a checking account with them, it's gonna boost your limit, but it's optional. Limits go up to $25,000 at start, and they pull from Equifax. All right, there's only one bank on the S tier column, and it's Chase Bank. And they're really the gold standard. You can get 0% APR for 12 months on purchases. The initial approvals often land between $50 and $75K if you have a business relationship manager. And with combined limits across LLCs, it's possible to scale up to $100,000+. They do primarily pull from Experian, though they may also pull from TransUnion depending on your location. Now let's talk about the stuff that can just sneak up on you. You know, in the fine print, those hidden landmines, you know, the reasons why some cars look amazing on paper, but feel like a scam once you're deep in the process. You want to find out, is this a 0% interest for just purchases or balance transfers or both? You know, not all 0% offers are created equal. Some cars will gladly let you swipe for inventory or ad spend with 0% interest, but won't give you that same deal if you're trying to transfer an existing balance from another card. Others will let you balance transfer at 0% interest, but charge full interest on new purchases. And that's a setup for disappointment if you're not paying attention. You also want to check to see if they allow balance transfers into a bank account, not just another credit card. So imagine being able to move $15,000 from a credit card directly into your business bank account. No merchant, no processing fees, just raw cash. That way you can pay contractors, buy inventory, or even float a product launch. Not every card does this, but Chase, Bank of America, and Discover have allowed it. Yes, even Discover, despite their other issues. Now, if you're using 0% interest cards to fuel your business, this one is a game changer. You also want to watch out for the length of the 0% intro offer. And here's where a lot of people get burned. You get a brand new card, spend $20,000 on it, thinking you've got time, and then bam, interest kicks in after just 6 months. You don't want that pressure. You want runway. You know, the sweet spot is between 12 and 18 months. That's the best window of time where you can move and flip an investment and just have breathing room. Anything under 9 months, that's really a treadmill. You'll be sprinting the whole time, just trying to stay ahead. And then you want to see, are financials, tax returns, or bank statements required? Some banks are completely chill. Others want to see your entire financial soul. You'll start the application, and then suddenly they're asking for 2 years of tax returns just for a $10,000 credit card. That's not leverage, that's a job interview. So here's the general rule. Limits under $25,000, most banks don't ask for docs. If you want more than that, you can expect bank statements or tax returns are full docs, especially from community banks and old school institutions. Now, if you're stacking or trying to scale fast, stick with the cards that let you skip the paperwork. Another thing you want to check is this application a soft or a hard pull? This is really big for strategy. If you're building momentum, applying for multiple cards in a short period, you can't afford too many hard inquiries. Each one knocks your score down a little and increases your rejection risk. That's why a soft pull approval is clutch. Cards from Citizens Bank and Amex, if you're already a customer, let you sneak in with no hit to your score. Then you want to see, does this lender offer multiple cards with a single hard pull? Some banks actually let you apply for more than one product, like 2 business cards or a card plus a line of credit with just one hard inquiry. It's basically like getting 2 or even 3 approvals for the cost of 1. Places like Navy Federal or PNC have been known to play nice like this, but it's not always advertised, so you got to ask for it. You also want to know, can you apply online or do you have to go in person? For most people, time is money, right? So some of the best cards are fully online. All you have to do is click and apply and then you're done. But others, they make you drive to the branch and schedule an appointment and bring a stack of paperwork like it's 2005. For example, Chase and Amex and Citizens, they have easy online applications. But for example, Fifth Third Bank and First Horizon Bank, I mean, you're gonna have to pack a lunch because you're gonna have to prepare for an in-person visit with them. And if you're stacking or wanna move fast, you wanna prioritize those online applications. You wanna save the in-person ones for when you're playing the long game for relationship banking. You also wanna see, is a business checking account required to apply? A lot of banks won't even look at your application unless you got a checking account with them. And even when it's not required, opening one can dramatically increase your approval odds or your, the first starting limit that you get. But here's the thing, some banks want an account open for 30, maybe even 90 days before you apply, looking at you Fifth Third. And others just want to see activity like regular deposits to feel comfortable lending to you. So if you're planning to go after a card from one of these banks, consider setting up that checking account in advance and seasoning it with activity first. Now, I want to get into just one potential credit card stacking strategy, but keep in mind, your version will vary based on many factors, like which banks are available in your area, whether you fall within their footprint or not, what your funding goals are. Maybe you want a line of credit too, and whether you already have a relationship with this bank. In fact, you may not even be ready to attempt something like this if your personal credit profile has issues or your business structure isn't set up correctly, or even if your paperwork isn't in order. You really want to get those right first, then come back and then run the play. So this sample stack is here to just give you a blueprint, and it's going to be 3 rounds for 3 bureaus, and it's going to be 9 cards total, with the potential to unlock $100,000+ in 0 APR funding while keeping those inquiries low and the approvals high. So for round 1, you could go for Chase Bank, and that pulls from Experian. They have those 0% offers for 12 months. You could also go for Citizens Bank, that pulls from Equifax. Remember, I told you this one is a gem because it's a soft pull and no bank account is required. Then you could go for US Bank. They pull from TransUnion. You can get up to 0% APR for a full 18 months with them. Now for round 2, you can go back to Amex, and then they pull from Experian. And it's just going to be a soft pull if you're already an Amex customer. Next, you can go for First Citizens Bank. They pull from Equifax. And then Truist Bank, they pull from TransUnion. And then from round 3, let's go to Bank of America. They pull from Experian or TransUnion. Then PNC Bank, they typically pull from Equifax or Experian. And then Regions Bank, they typically pull from TransUnion. You really want to dial in your credit and business setup and documentation first, because once that's tight, you're ready to go for this play. And here's where it gets exciting. You can actually go back and get a business line of credit with Amex for a relatively new LLC with no hard pull at all. That's 0 risk to your credit score and access to cash funding. I got approved for over $10,000 even with a newer business and low revenue. So check out the next video to learn how I did it, and thank you for watching.